Okay, everyone pretty much has talked about how they felt more equipped, right, to go on a deep playoff run. You guys had a really good locker room. Was there anything in particular, maybe on your side, or anything different that you noticed about the Panthers from last year to this year?
Well, I mean, both really good teams, obviously. I don't know. I think they just they have a system and they have guys that have won last year and know what it takes. And I think they defend really well. I think that's the biggest key to their team is they don't give you a whole lot. And when they do get the chance to capitalize, they've done that the last couple of years against us.
So have you had kind of enough time to deal with the emotions of, what the expectation levels were, and then, the same places last year?
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone said, we felt like this team could have a deep playoff run, and I like the way we were playing coming into playoffs, and again ran into a Panthers team that was able to limit our chances and capitalize on theirs, and same result as last year.
Nikita was talking about, Florida's so good at pressuring, right? They don't give you any free plays. To be able to execute under that pressure, it's hard to learn that skill, right? Because nobody really pressures, maybe them in Carolina.
Yeah.
Might be the only teams that pressure that way.
Yeah, they, I mean, you're not used to seeing it, I guess, in most games all year. But, it's not only the pressure that they're putting on the puck carrier, they're also on top of guys away from the puck. So even when that puck carrier doesn't have a lot of time, a lot of times when he looks up, there's kind of guys all over his teammates. So, that's and they're really good at it. That's not easy to do, to defend that way, and they've got that figured out pretty well. And it does make the game harder for sure.
You almost have to go into the mindset, maybe with the way that the playoffs are structured, that's the team we're gonna have to beat. We're gonna have to learn to beat that team, just as they learned to beat you guys.
Yeah. Every year's different, and I'm not sure what next year's going to be. I'm sure they're going to be a great team again, but I think learning to play against a system like that is important for sure. Obviously, for us to make deep runs in playoffs, if we're going to have to get through them, we're going to have to learn how to adapt and how to beat that kind of system. That's for sure.
Brayden, leading the season last year versus this year, do you feel like moving into next year you guys are closer to that goal of getting back to where you were a handful of years ago?
Yeah, I would think so. I think even though it was the same result, I felt the games were closer in this year, and I felt like we were in a lot of the games this year, and a goal at a different time for us could have changed the game, or maybe not giving one up could have changed it. So I think we're closer for sure, but there's still things that we need to work on.
And I just want to ask you, because Tony was just nominated as a finalist for the Selke. Just what does a guy like that mean to your team, and what he's done at defensive end for so many years, but for him to finally get recognized?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a guy that plays the best team's players almost every night, and I think this year, which was great to see, was he got rewarded offensively as well too, because he does put in so much work and he's so hard to play against. We see it in practice all the time, but for him to get that offensive success this year too was great to see.
Brayden, Julian spoke volumes about the development of Gage and Connor. And if you could talk about what you saw of them this year, including the playoff series, was their first playoff action, right?
Yeah, I thought they both played really well in the playoffs. I thought Geeks was, after he came back, was awesome for us. It was great to see, and I'm sure his trajectory will just keep going up. And with Gage, I think just you could see his confidence come along. And he's such a skilled player, and he sees the ice so well that, once he had that confidence to make the plays, he just took off. So he was great for us as well.
When you can see a team in Florida that's, because they won, they have that confidence, they create their own bounces, know how to win, pull games out, right? You guys were that team, a few years ago. As you guys kind of are further away from that, and personnel changes and everything like that. How do you kind of try to rebuild certain things like that are maybe like, nuanced intangibles that really make a difference in the postseason,
Yeah, it's, I think, for next year, it's got to be stressed right away that you're going to have to play a certain way if you're going to want to win in playoffs. And I mean, it's tough to do for 82 games, obviously. You're not going to be able to play that way every night. But I think going into next year, our focus really should be just right from the get-go, trying to establish an identity that this is how you're going to have to win in playoffs. And I think, if anything, that's going to help us.